Now, what we have shown you before is how to do hag'ala, or excuse me, irui, how to kosher the sinks through pouring hot water. Now, I understand that when we did it, there was a lot of steam and it was very hard to see. So I want to show you how to do the sides now with cold water. Now, you're supposed to really do it with hot water, but if we do it with hot water, we've defeated the purpose. You're not going to be able to see it. So I'm going to use cold water. Of course, you will use hot water to do this, not from the sink, from the pot that's boiling, and you'll have to do it all on your own. Again, please take tremendous caution when you do this. Put on gloves, make sure old children are away, okay? And make sure you yourself don't burn yourself. Put on shoes, don't let the things. You have to figure out what would be, what's going to happen, and to stay away from it. Okay, so again, what we want to do is hit the surface on the side. Okay, and it's not difficult to do when you have a large opening of the pot. When you have a smaller opening, it limits you to certain spots. Okay, so therefore you want to use a bigger pot that's going to be much better. Okay, let's take for example, again I repeat, the irui has to be with hot water. We're just using this as an example. Okay, what will have to happen, like we said, what you pour, it has to hit all the surface. So watch, notice how I'm going to hit it. I'm going to try to hit a big blot, and I'm going to try to hit the sides, and each one will cover one circle, because that's how the water will spill. Pay attention. I've done up till here. Now again, obviously I'm using a much bigger pot. This pot should have been on the fire and bubbling, not like this bubble, but real hot water bubbling. Again, we're watching. Okay? And I'll do the same to the second, third, and fourth wall. On the video, not to bore you, we'll only do the second wall, but you already know how to do it. You know what? Let me do the one closer to me, because that is a little bit more difficult. You'll have to take it with two hands. And 1, 2, 3, 4. With 4 spills of a small cup, I was able to cover half of the sink, as I was able to see. And for the next part, I'll step back a little bit. I don't want to burn myself. And keep handy a towel. Let me just bring a towel over here, because things will spill over. In order not to ruin your formica, you want to use a towel to wipe once you're done. Okay? And again, you will start from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? It took me 5 spills, but I was able to do it. And right away, clean the surface with the towel so it shouldn't ruin the wood or formica. And you already have your kosher sink, again assuming that you did the sides with boiling hot water. Now the next part that you want to hit is this surface over here, which so many times hot foods could spill over and people will pick it up. So this is actually much easier. Again, I'm going to do it with cold water so it can be visible, but it has to be done with hot water. And that is like this. Okay, I missed a spot over here. You see how much easier it is? You don't have to pour everything in one shot, as long as you're hitting all the surface, and have your towel handy and ready to dry up all the surfaces that got wet. Okay? Here we go. And even the floors. Fine. This is how we kosher a sink. After you use the hot water, it's a good idea to perhaps fill up with cold water and to pour all over, like we mentioned by the other kelim, and you have yourself a kosher sink. Now, I want to move on. I'm going to use cold water for now, or maybe I'll use the hot water to show. I'm going to show you 3 different ways of what one could do to kosher the counters. Now, why do you need to kosher the counters? And the answer is because counters, many times, often most of the time, when you put the food spills over. Right after you're done with the food, you put the food, the pasta spills over. I always use pasta as an example, but there's much more than pasta. There are things that you cook with hametz that not can but do spill over. So therefore, when you're using it again on Pesach, even though you may use it with cold, which is not always true, you don't want it to go back into the food. Okay, so one of 3 ways I want to kosher the counter. Okay, I'm going to start with the simplest way. The simplest way is you could do what I do myself, and that is I use counters countertops that are sold, especially kasher Pesach. In America, it's more in New York and the tri-borough, where there are many Jews. So these are very available. These take care of all the problem. What is the countertop? The countertop, it's actually right here in the living room. You want to just get it for a second? The countertops, where is it? Where is the countertop? Okay, pause. Stop. Okay.